What's up guys, Josh with Russell Marine Products here. Going to do an install video for you tonight. We're going to go over the new Garmin Perspective mount for the LVS 32 Live Scope. Alright guys, tonight we're going to do the Perspective mount install. This is a customer's boat that already had the standard LVS 32 mount on. So what we're going to do, we took it off and I cut loose one of the sections of electrical tape that were holding his transducer wire down. For this, it's pretty straightforward. You're not going to need much. Garmin provides the Allen wrench. A pair of scissors, you can do it with a knife if you're super brave, but nothing like nicking a $1,000 wire. And a roll of electrical tape so we can fasten it back down once we're done. Something to keep in mind as you guys are installing this Perspective mount. Here at RMP, we do all the live scopes on the starboard side of the trolling motor. We do that so you can have inboard prop stow. That way it stays out of the cover and everything for you. With the Perspective parts, they all have designations on them, whether it be for port or starboard side. So what you'll have to do is just make sure you see those parts, make sure they're designated the right side. Along with that, the ridge that runs along the front of the shaft of the trolling motor, there's a groove on the inside of the mount piece that goes on there, also designated for starboard or port. So you want to make sure you guys are using the right side as you go forward with this install. All right guys, so we're ready to go ahead and put the mount on. So just like we talked about, making sure we're using the starboard designation there to go into the groove on the backside, and then make sure we use our rubber pad that keeps this thing from sliding up and down the shaft. Let's go ahead and get this going, and we'll show you how to tighten it up. In this particular case, we have just removed the original mounting bracket on it, so I'm gonna go back in the same location. Thanks to the power of some use and some dirt, I've already got it marked out. So just like we talked about, that ridge on the front, you want to make sure it lines up with the starboard groove on the front of the bracket. Everything you need, all the hardware that comes with it, is also with that included Allen wrench that fits every screw that you're going to use. Now something on this, when you do these, and I've done this before, do not over tighten them. This is a plastic bracket and this is stainless steel hardware. If you go trying to Mongo these screws down, you can crack this. It will just crack them out right in the middle of it. So you want to do hand tight, nice and snug so it's not going to slide up and down, but you don't have to go crazy. I do this, guys, when I'm doing the brackets, I'm trying to make sure my gaps here are pretty much equal as I go to tighten. And then I go from corner to corner across from one another. So backside here and then tighten down here. And again, do not over tighten them. There's no need to do so. Just get it nice and snug and it's not going to move on you. All right, so I've got that snugged up. I'm ready to move forward and start mounting the arm. Starting with making sure you're using the S-marked arm. You're going to use the stainless steel Allen screw. The washer goes closest to the head, and then you use the rubber behind. That's used to keep tension on the arm, allowing it to rotate freely without moving on its own. Okay, so that's what I want to see. So I've got this snugged up. I'm not overly tight. I can take the arm, I can move it, and you can feel, and you should be able to see it on camera, the teeth engage as you're rotating. That's what you want. You don't want to force it and have a lot of torque on it, but you want to feel the teeth positively engaging as you're moving this from position to position. Now that I've got this where I want it, let's move on to the LVS 32 transducer itself and get that sticker installed. All right, again, for that starboard side installation, if you take a look at the sticker, you're going to be able to see a groove in that bottom corner. Now that little cutout is to make sure you clear the temp sensor that's on the LVS 32 itself. Now, I've cleaned this. I used a little magic eraser, wiped it down since it's been in the water. If yours is a brand new live scope, you probably don't have to worry about that. Anytime you put a sticker on though, it's never a bad idea to go over something and clean it. some alcohol, whatever you got to just clean that surface up before you apply the sticker. Take your time when you're doing decals like this. Line it up correctly because those indicator marks on here are going to be important as we move forward. All right, so something we found here. I want you guys to see it in real world what's going on here. So I cut the bottom loop off. What I found really quickly was was not going to be enough slack in the cable to be able to perform the full loop. So I went through, and again, using scissors, not a knife, I cut all the tape loose, going all the way back down where it feeds into the bow of the boat. Now I can redo my service loop and check my links once I do that. That's something that you guys are probably going to have to do. Depending on the length of your service loop, you may just need to cut loose on the shaft and have plenty of space to do it that way. But just keep in mind, you need to make sure you have plenty of slack for this to go through its full rotation. Okay, so now that we're cut loose and I have that in place, the same method of using the stainless steel screw that we used on the front, let me roll this out of the way, with the rubber backer to keep tension, we're now going to install on the 32 itself. That's the same way. These have teeth to them, and it's going to move into different positions as it locks through. So you want to have enough tension on it that the teeth engage, but not too much that you have to force it really hard. It's kind of an intuitive thing. You guys will be able to feel that, hey, this isn't just going to spin around, but I don't have to force it. Let's go ahead and tighten this guy down. Got it kind of tightened down. Same thing, we should feel positive clicks. There we go. Hopefully you can even hear that on the audio. You can see the teeth engage, but it's not so loose that it's going to freely spin on us at any given time. Click, 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 click. All right. All right, guys, so we've got everything snugged up. All of our teeth are engaging like they're supposed to. So now let's kind of go over the notches and the marks that are on this thing. So as you can see that decal we added, it's going to tell you exactly where you need to be for down, forward, and then perspective mode. Now you'll want to do most of your rotations up on the top side before you go to swing the arm down if you're going to go into perspective. Also, on the mount itself, it gives lines so you know where to line it up so you're in your right position. So when I'm upright, I've got my single notch. When I'm ready to move to perspective, I'm going to center up on my dual notches right there on the top. Spin my transducer around to perspective, and there we go. So that would be, for example, in perspective mode. In between the dual notches, and my perspective mode is lined up on my decal with the notch on the arm itself. To rotate back around, I'm going to pull up, my single notch is engaged, rotate down, and in my case, I'm going to go into forward position. Now, all we have to do is get some slack, figure out where exactly we want to be before we start taping this thing up. Again, make sure you have enough to go through your full rotation set without causing any binding in your cables. Something we always discuss here, it's a thing of vital importance. Just like we use scissors on this $1,000 wire, we use electrical tape. Garmin does not explicitly say, do not use zip ties when routing the LiveScope cable. This is a 21-pin cable. The cable itself is very sensitive. That's why it does so many magical and amazing things. And if you use zip ties on it, you can crush some of the wires internally. So I'm going to use electrical tape, keep it nice and tight, and work my way up the shaft as I go, keeping it nice and lined up. All right, just like any type of externally mounted cable on a trolling motor, you got to make sure that you leave a service loop up top. So I've got slack here. That way my trolling motor can rotate without pulling on that cable. You don't have to go too crazy on it. Something about like that works about to the edge of the head. That should give you plenty of room for any rotation that you need. All right guys, now that we got the hardware installed, we have to make sure the software is ready as well. For you guys running the GPS map units, you got to make sure that you're updated to version 18.1. You can do that through the Active Captain app, or you can do it directly on Garmin's website via SD card download. For you EchoMap guys, now that is EchoMap Ultra and EchoMap UHD, or the pluses, all those guys, you're going to be looking for version 11.2. When you get into those software versions, you'll be ready to rock on this. Also, don't forget to check us out for all your Garmin needs and any other products at russellmarineproducts.com. When this video posts, these guys are ready to ship. Got them in stock and ready to rock. Again, that's russellmarineproducts.com. If you guys dig the video, give us a like, subscribe if you want to see more of the videos, and we'll see you next time.